And this is my argument here, guys, why Bake should come back. In my opinion, it would be really not just nostalgia, it will be respecting the old school players that there's a market for Baek Doo San. And Tekken is strongest when it respects its martial. What's up, YouTube? Ozzy back with another one. And I'm going to talk about someone very special. Someone very special. Before Ray Jars, before any of this, there was a disciplined master, a Taekwondo specialist who shaped one of the most iconic characters that you play today. And his name is Baek Doo San. And without Baek Doo San, there wouldn't be no Hwoarang. And I want to talk about why I miss him. Where is he? Could he come back? And look, here he is. He made his debut in Tekken 2. The polygons are not fully shaped, but man, this character was phenomenal, man. He represented discipline to another level, and somehow they never bring him back, and I don't know why. Because he's made his debut in Tekken 2, right? And for me, he stood out right away. He had the Pepsi sign in the back. I just loved it because he wasn't part of the Devil Gene experiment. He wasn't comic relief like other characters, Ganryu, the label long you could put in there. He was pure discipline. Like, that's your master, baby. And more importantly, guys, yeah, he represented the purest form of Taekwondo. The Taekwondo that you see in the Olympics? That's what he really truly represented. And he's Hwoarang's master. That alone makes him very important to the legacy, Tekken's legacy anyway, because no Bake, no Hwoarang, in my opinion, anyway. So Bake wasn't just another slot. He was a series full of chaos, devil, robots, and there was a master in there. And let's be honest, he's a master. And you know what? I'll tell you what I want to talk about is Bake versus Hwoarang, the argument. Oh, they both play the same. They're similar. I don't agree with that argument. People like, why bring Bake back? We already have Hwoarang. But that's completely actually missing the point because they play different. Hwoarang is a more pressure fighter. He needs to come forward and hit you with the down 3-4, right? That's his pressure. He goes into other stuff, right? While Bake is more of a rhythm fighter, and he's the one who started that pressure with 4-3-3, and he will go into Flamingo. And with Flamingo, you can evade, and it was just poetry in motion, guys. Honestly, that's the best way I can describe Hwoarang. Even though they both use Taekwondo, right? Their rhythm is completely different. Hwoarang seems a bit more heavy, a bit more stiff compared to Bake. Bake seemed a bit more lighter on his feet. He seemed like he was a quicker character. Bake felt like precision and control, guys. I have to be honest. So the contrast for me is quite powerful because we always get this, oh, they're both the same. But you could say that about the Mishimas. You could say that about so many characters. For me, Tekken's always been about generational conflict, right? Father versus son, teacher versus student, old school versus new school. So why don't you bring Bake back? Why did you cut Bake? Big represents the old school. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And Tekken 8 is missing that balance, guys. How bullshit characters like Marizo, Ram, all these Victor. How many swordsmen do you need? How many ninjas do you? It's too much now, and it would be nice to see some pure art form. Because hey, look, you got in Tekken Tag. I always used to pick Bacon Hwoarang because of the camaraderie that they have. Right? It's just beautiful to see. But unfortunately, we're not gonna get that because Yoshimitsu's got his Kunamitsu. And this is my argument here, guys, why Bake should come back. In my opinion, it would be really not just nostalgia, it will be respecting the old school players that there's a market for Baek Doo San. And Tekken is strongest when it respects its martial arts too as well. Because there's too much craziness going on. I don't know how certain characters have made it because Baek adds true master archetype, right? A disciplined taekwondo identity, right? A legacy connection to Hwoarang. You can connect the storyline there. Calmer personality in a chaotic roster because the roster is mad. Imagine him as a Tekken DLC. The student has grown, but has he outgrown the master? Maybe he could run that. It writes itself, man. And gameplay wise, for me, a lot of you guys are not gonna like this. I think I want to ask BTS Jin. My brother BTS Jin. Who do you prefer playing, Hwoarang or Bake? I prefer Bake, man. A lot of you guys probably are gonna say Hwoarang because you recency bias. You're gonna see more Hwoarang, but for me, he was a refined technical Taekwondo master, man. And the current system, it would feel fresh. It would feel more relaxed. He doesn't need to replace Hwoarang. They've taken his moves and put it on Hwoarang, and it just doesn't. It doesn't go. It doesn't fit. For me, it just doesn't fit. Bake picks these powerful shots. I don't know, but they could bring him back. Could coexist with him. But I think season 4 they're gonna do Miguel, Lay, Olga would be nice. But anyway, guys, that's just my opinion. I think Bake for me represents a good time in my life. Um, he plays different to Hwoarang, and I just don't want him to be a forgotten character, guys. He's part of Tekken history. Like, it represents serious discipline, and Tekken truly is about legacy, in my opinion, anyway. So then it's time to, like, do you think honor someone like that? I would actually be so happy because the season 3 roster did not move me at all. So what do you guys think? Who do you guys think was better, Hwoarang or or Baek Doo San? And should he come back? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, click the like button if you like the video. And if you want to continue with my journey, hit that subscribe button. Aussie is out.